One of the biggest mistakes I made in my 5 years of chronic knee pain, 6 major knee injuries, is rushing the process. And I want to show you a graph today which is going to show you the adaptation of tissues. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple concepts and then show you exercises which you can actually use with these concepts. These concepts and exercises are going to allow you to be able to have a much easier knee ability journey. So I want you to take a look at this graph. This is the tissue adaptability graph. And on it, we have muscle, we have bone, we have ligaments, we have tendons, and we have cartilage. So the mistake that so many people make is strengthen their muscles, strengthen their muscles, strengthen their muscles, and then their connective tissues, such as the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage, do not catch up. Their muscles get too strong for these other tissues, especially if we're not training in the right way. And then these connective tissues never strengthen, they never heal, and repeatedly get injured. And so if you're doing leg extensions, if you're doing leg press, if you're doing Bulgarian split squats, all of these are great, and they are going to strengthen the tendons and ligaments and cartilage in some kind of way. But if we're not using full range of motion, if we're not using joint dominant exercises, then we are missing this element of connective tissue dominance, and we're going to become muscle dominant, which I see is what happens in people over and over and over again. Building muscle isn't bad, but you can do it so much quicker than tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and so we need to do this first before we pack on that muscle on top, because the muscle is the easy part. For example, if you read this line here, from this graph it can be seen that almost full adaptation for muscle tissue can be achieved in approximately 35 weeks, whereas for cartilage only 75% of the adaptation can be expected over a period of 2 years. And again, we don't know what kind of exercises they used, we don't know who these participants were, so maybe this can be quicker in some people if they use the right exercise, etc., which again we have seen time and time again. But these things take time. One of the biggest mistakes I have made is rushing too quick every single time. What should we build first versus what we build first right now? What we build first right now, we build the muscle, we build the explosivity, the ability to jump up to a box, and we build our strength, we build our CNS. Those are the things which I see over and over that we build. Whereas the things that we need to build that take longer, which is what we focus on in Bulletproof Ballers, is building joint dominance, is building the ligaments, the tendons, the cartilage, all this kind of stuff, building them stronger, building them thicker over time. Building the mobility, this is going to take longer than something like strength in most people. Again, it depends person to person. And then 3, elasticity, the ability to decelerate forces rather than accelerate forces. So, for example, jumping down from a box instead of jumping up, because we know that 80% of knee injuries happen in deceleration or reflexive phases. So being able to build this ability where we are decelerating and pushing, rebounding against force is more important and takes, again, longer than the ability to accelerate force. That is some of the concepts that I wanted to talk to you about and what we are focusing on right now versus what we need to focus on in our Bulletproof Ballers system. Let's look at exercises for this side versus exercises for this side. First, we have the strength, we have leg press, we have leg extensions, we have lunges, we have Bulgarian split squats, we have glute bridges, we have hamstring curls, we have RDLs, we have half range of motion squat. And again, not a single one of these exercises is bad, but exercises built on weak foundations is bad. For the acceleration, we have sled pushes, we have box jumps, we have short and mid range of motion plyometric, we have power cleans, we have power snatches, we have all this stuff. And again, these are good things, but on weak bases, not so good. Then if we look at the other side, the way that we do things in Bulletproof Ballers, for the joint dominance, we have backwards sleds, we have step ups, we have ATG split squats, we have full range of motion VMO squats, we have hack squats, we have Nordic curls. And for the mobility, we have resting positions, so Caesar, deep squats, all that kind of good stuff. But in the gym, we also have seated good mornings, we have the ATG split squat, we have the couch stretch, we have elephant walks, we have standing pancakes, we have cable pancakes, we have seated butterflies. Then for deceleration ability and elasticity, we have actually targeting the muscles that are involved in deceleration first, and we have sleds, we have reverse step ups, we have Romanian rhythm squats, we have depth drops, we have depth jumps, we have pogos, we have VMO bounces. We have all of these exercises which are going to target more of those things. I would not be building a base on this side without a base on this side, but we want to build them up in balance, in harmony, and this stuff can come a lot quicker. So we see people that are 7-8 months post ACL surgery and meniscus, and they come to us and they can't go through a full range of motion in their knee, they can't get into a deep squat, but they can max out the leg extension machine, they can max out the leg press. And there is a dichotomy there between the people that have actually focused on this versus the people that have focused on the leg extension, building the muscle, that kind of stuff. These people are going on to get re-injured, and these people people are staying healthy and looking at the long term. And so the final thing I want to say to you is give yourself time. Let these tissues adapt over long periods of time. Please don't rush your progress. Progressive overload doesn't mean adding a 10 kg on the bar every single time. It doesn't mean because your knee feels good hitting those 60 kg front squats when you've only hit 20 kg before. It means slowly adapting your tissues to a positive stimulus and getting better and better and better at handling pressure and becoming a capable human being. That is all we can do. Pain, injuries, all this kind of stuff, it may always come up. It just does. Like, that's just how life is. But the more that we can become a capable human being, the more that we can mitigate these things and maybe overcome them quicker when they do occur. Hope it helps you to be able to see kind of what we do differently. If you do want a 3-4 week knee strengthening program, that is in the top line of the description down below. Hope it helps.